yet always back returning to those first feelings that were born with me, and leaving busy chase of wealth and learning for idle dreams of things which cannot be. Today I will seek not the shadowy region, its unsustaining vastness waxes drear, and visions rising, legion after legion, bring the unreal world too strangely near. I'll walk, but not in old heroic traces, and not in paths of high morality, and not among the half-distinguished faces, the clouded forms of long past history. I'll walk where my own nature would be leading. It vexes me to choose another guide, where the gray flocks in ferny glens are feeding, where the wild wind blows on the mountainside. What have those lonely mountains worth revealing? More glory and more grief than I can tell. The earth that wakes one human heart to feeling can center both the worlds of heaven and hell.
Blackstone Rangers by Gwendolyn Brooks. There they are, 30 at the corner, black, raw, ready. Sores in the city that do not want to heal. Jeff, Jean, Geronimo, and Bob, they cancel, cure, and curry. Hardly the dupes of the downtown thing, the cold bonbon, the rhinestone thing, and hardly in a hurry. Hardly Belafonte, King, Black Jesus, Stokely, Malcolm X, or Rap. Bungle trophies. Their country is a nation on no map. Jeff, Jean, Geronimo, and Bob, in the passionate noon, in bewitching night, are the detailed men, the copious men. They curry, cure, they canceled images whose concerts are not divine. Vivacious, the different tins are intense last entries, pagan argument, translations of the night. The black stone bitter bureaus, bureaucracy is footloose, edit, fuse, unfashionable damnations and dissent, and exalting, monstrous hand on monstrous hand, construct, strangely, a monstrous pearl or grace. Gang girls are sweet exotics. Mary Ann uses the nutrients of her Orient, but sometimes sighs for cities of blue and jewel beyond her ranger rim of Cottage Grove. Bowery boys, disciples, whipbirds will dissolve no margins, stop no savory sanctities. Mary is a rose in a whiskey glass. Mary's February shudder and are gone. April's fret frankly, lilac hurries on. Summer is a hard, irregular ridge. October looks away, and that's the year. Save for her bugle love, save for the bleat of not obese devotion, save for somebody terribly dying under the philanthropy of robins, save for her ranger bringing in a mount of rainbow in a string drawn bag. Where did you get the diamond? Do not ask, but swallow straight the spirals of his flags. And assist him at your zipper, pet his lips and help him clutch you. Love's another departure. Will there be any arrivals? Confirmations? Will there be gleaning? Mary the shake dancer's child from the rooming flat pants carefully, peers at her laboring lover. Mary Ann. Settle for sandwiches, settle for stocking caps, for sudden blood, aborted carnival. The props and niceties of non-loneliness. The rhymes of leaning.
I am the people, the mob, by Carl Sandburg. I am the people, the mob, the crowd, the mass. Do you know that all the great work of the world is done through me? I am the working man, the inventor, the maker of the world's food and clothes. I am the audience that witnesses history. Napoleons come from me, and the Lincolns. They die. And then I send forth more Napoleons and Lincolns. I am the sea ground. I am a prairie that will stand for much plowing. Terrible storms pass over me. I forget. The best of me is sucked out and wasted. I forget. Everything but death comes to me and makes me work and give up what I have, and I forget. spatter a few red drops for history to remember. Then, I forget. When I, the people, learn to remember. When I, the people, use the lessons of yesterday and no longer forget who robbed me last year, who played me for a fool, then there will be no speaker in all the world say the name the people with any fleck of a sneer in his voice or any far-off smile of derision. The mob, the crowd, the mass will arrive then.
For Toy Piano by Tony Hogland. Play the one about the family of the ducks, where the ducks go down to the river and one of them thinks the water will be cold, but they jump in anyway, and like it, and splash around. No, I must play the one about the nervous man from Palestine in row 14, with a brown bag in his lap, in which a gun is hidden in a sandwich. Play the one about the handsome man and woman standing on the steps of her apartment, and how the darkness in her perfume and the beating of their hearts conjoin to make them feel like leaping from the edge of chance. No, I should play the one about the hard rectangle of the credit card hidden in the man's back pocket, and how the woman spent an hour plucking out her brows, and how her perfume was made from the destruction of 100 flowers. Then play the one about the flower industry, in which the migrant workers cursed their own infected hands from tossing sheaves of roses and carnations into the back of the refrigerated trucks. No, I must play the one about the single yellow daffodil standing on my kitchen table, whose cut stem draws the water ever upward, so the plant is flushed with the conviction that the water has been sent to find and raise it up from somewhere so deep inside the earth, not even flowers remember.
Their Bodies by David Wagner. To students of anatomy at Indiana University. That gaunt old man came first, his hair as white as your scoured tables. Maybe you'll recollect him by the scars of steel mill burns on the backs of his hands, on the nape of his neck, on his arms and sinewy legs. And her, by the enduring innocence of her face, as open to on death as it would have been in life. She would remember your names, your ages, your pastimes, your hometowns, if she could. But she can't now, so remember her. They believed in doctors, trusted their advice, and followed it faithfully. They treated others kindly their whole lives. You should treat them one last time as they had treated others. Remember, somewhere, their son is trying hard to believe that you'll learn as much from them as he did, and do your best to learn politely and truly. They gave away the gift of those useful bodies against his wish. They had their own ways of doing everything, always. If you're not certain which ones are theirs, be gentle to everybody.
To Autumn by John Keats. Season of mists and mellow fruitfulness, close bosom friend of the maturing sun, conspiring with him how to load and bless with fruit the vines that round the thatch eaves run. To bend the mossed cottage trees with apples, and fill all fruit with ripeness to the core. To set budding more and still more later flowers for the bees, until they think warm days will never cease, for summer has o'erbrimmed their clammy cells. Who hath not seen thee oft amid thy store? Sometimes, whoever seeks abroad may find thee sitting careless on a granary floor, thy hair soft lifted by the winnowing wind. Or on a half-roofed furrow, sound asleep, drowsed with the fume of poppies, while thy hook spares the next swath, and all its twined flowers. And sometimes, like a gleaner, thou dost keep steady thy laden head across a brook, or by a cider press with patient look, thou watchest the last oozings hours by hours. Where are the songs of spring? Aye, where are they? Think not of them, thou hast thy music too. While barred clouds bloom the soft dying day, and touch the stubble plains with rosy hue, then in a wailful choir the small gnats mourn among the river sallows, borne aloft or sinking as the light wind lives or dies. And full-grown lambs loud bleat from hilly bourne, hedge crickets sing. And now with treble soft, the red breast whistles from a garden croft, and gathering swallows twitter in the skies.
The Pomegranate and the Big Crowd by Alberto Rios. Ventura, because she was hungry and because she was curious, but more because she was curious, took the dare, a kiss for a pomegranate. Everyone gathered, her friends and his, everyone watched. The boys, the girls, the pigs and the chickens and more. Moving to the front were the children she and Clemente would one day have, and the children of those children too, gathered and loud with everyone and everything else, loud as the pigs and fast as the chickens, though she could not see them. Still, they crowded her, and she could feel their anxious breathing. This boy Clemente, whom she would kiss, she would have kissed even without the pomegranate, though she could not say it, and was glad of this game. He suited her, she thought. He had a strong face. He felt what she felt. She could see him look around, but not at their friends. She could see him feel the shiver of the children they would have. Their son, Margarito, his two sisters, both of whom would become nuns if just to pray enough to take care of him. This boy, so serious, he would seem like a stranger in their arms. Serious enough by himself to make up for Clemente and Ventura, and for all the laughter they themselves would feel. This curious child, who as an old man would never trust a doctor for anything, and his serious wife to come, Refugio, and her sisters Matilde and Consuelo as well. All the people who would follow this kiss. So many of them, and their children too. Everyone stood there, arms up, everyone watching. So much noise in this moment, this quick lending of herself to his cheek. The way Ventura would later kiss all these impatient children of theirs. The kiss seemed so small, but was filled with itself. This small moment of affection she gave this boy, the quarter second that it took. There they all stood, waiting with the crowd, egging them on, hefting the pomegranate, and pushing them toward each other. Clemente and Ventura, in that quarter second, lived their lives. A quarter second, not finished yet.
I Carry Your Heart With Me, I Carry It In, by E. E. Cummings. I carry your heart with me. I carry it in my heart. I am never without it. Anywhere I go, you go, my dear. And whatever is done by only me is your doing, my darling. I fear no fate, for you are my fate, my sweet. I want no world, for beautiful you are my world, my true. And it's you, are whatever a moon has always meant, and whatever a sun will always sing is you. Here is the deepest secret nobody knows. Here is the root of the root, and the bud of the bud, and the sky of a tree called life, which grows higher than soul can hope or mind can hide. And this is the wonder that's keeping the stars apart. I carry your heart. I carry it in my heart.
The Obligation to be Happy by Linda Paston. It is more onerous than the rights of beauty or housework, harder than love, but you expect it of me casually, the way you expect the sun to come up, not in spite of rain or clouds, but because of them. And so I smile, as if my own fidelity to sadness were a hidden vice, that downward tug on my mouth, my old suspicion that health and love are brief irrelevancies, no more than laughter in the warm dark, strangled at dawn. Happiness. I try to hoist it on my narrow shoulders again, a knapsack